Hey folks, welcome back to the trail. Well, gonna be fighting for the audio today because it's a windy, rainy day. But sticking true to my discipline roots, I can't tell you to get out here and get some activity under your ass if I'm not out here in all the conditions like I preach, right? So, okay. So sticking with the Ostrich Farm. Now, because I'm working against Mother Nature here, if somebody comes, I'm just going to put the phone down to protect their identity, but I'm going to keep filming and I don't edit. You know how it goes around here. Okay, so Ostrich Farm. Yep, it's a topic that gets me quite a bit of flack. Now, you know, around here, I like to read the comments and see as many different views on the topic as I can. So somebody came in with a comment, I think it was Dan, if I have your handle right, and I appreciate the way it was worded. It was not belittling, there was facts in there, and that's what I like, people. You know, we can have discussions without all that negative belittling crap, shall we? Let's just do that. So yeah, there was a couple different views and points and policies and such in the comment. But for me, I'm going to put it this way. I don't trust the science. Like, you know, back in 2020 when we were told to trust the science, you know what I'm talking about. But in saying that, the situation with the ostriches is, it doesn't matter what side you're on. If you're pro-cull them or you're wanting to save them and, you know, protect the farmers' rights and such, it's all solely going to be based off of science. And that really bugs me. And it almost makes me want to dip out of the whole thing because, like I said, science. But if you're going to preach save them based on what's in the eggs and what you could do in the future with medical innovations and maybe vaccines for birds, well, that's science. And if you're going to side with the cull end of things, well, that's also based on science of how the avian flu works and based on policy. So no matter what side you're on, we have a huge science factor and a huge political factor. Now, both of them are frustrating as hell to me. And trust me, I am not an expert, and, you know, I'm not highly educated in biology and all of that. But yes, the comment, if you want to go look for it, you know, it spelled out all the different aspects to this order and why, you know, the cull order came about due to after the birds have the flu, you know, it doesn't matter how many, it suggested in the comment that the environment and your farmland is now compromised and contaminated. Also, there was a comment of any birds that could be immune, like have herd immunity, they could still shed. I got gum on the roof of my mouth. I don't have a speech impediment. They could still shed the virus. Okay, so there was that. So what else was there? Different treaty rights and such. So, you know, this is not a cut and dry type of case. It just isn't. And we have to look at it from all sides. So, okay, so let's look at it from the policy end of things. If that's the case and the ground is contaminated and the birds, through their feathers and through other means, could still infect other birds, then why isn't the CFIA wearing more combative hazmat gear? And why are the RCMP just giving out feathers to the protectors and supporters and people that just come to look at the farm. If that was the case, they wouldn't be doing that. So, there's just a lot of different facets to this that make you go, and you can't ignore that. Now, there also was a part of the comment that talked about nobody wants to do poultry trades with our country anymore based solely on this farm and how this has come about with their farm. So there's that. And that maybe the farm didn't practice the proper quarantining at the beginning with their birds. I don't know, because I'm not there. And you're not there. So how are we ever going to know? We're just not going to know. So then I was thinking, when you want to compare ostriches to chickens in the poultry game, right? Government and the policies and all of that for like meat birds. So I Googled the homology of chickens to ostriches. Like how similar they are and how, if their markers are similar, in their genetic makeup. And you can do the same thing. Go to the Google machine. I don't know how well we can trust that, but that's where we all go. So they found, I'm pretty sure it was 0.00% likeness between the ostriches and the chickens. Chickens are more in the same line of like pheasants and such, and the ostriches are more prehistoric. But I mean, both birds come from prehistoric times, But as far as homology goes, they are not the same. And I have a train coming. Crap! Kill trap. So yeah, there's that. So if those two creatures are not the same at all, is there a chance that maybe they would handle the bird flu a little bit differently between the two? You know what I mean? Like maybe the ostriches could possibly have herd immunity, whereas chickens couldn't. But I did hear a story of a lady who had avian flu destroy her poultry farm, but one of her chickens has immunity, and she kept it, and took her a long time, but she did introduce it to other chickens, and so far, not a problem. So anyways, things to think about. Sorry guys, the train. And let me know what you think. And it's a really hard topic to discuss, and there's a lot to unpack, but if you could save the birds, wouldn't we want to try to do that? Especially if they're not the same and they don't handle the avian flu the same. I don't know, just something to think about. Here it comes. See you later, folks.